this is the review for 20th of June. Now, why this day is special is because I lost today, and I did not lost because I was so much uh, driven by emotion, I would say. uh, the day was a roller coaster, I would say. When we started in the morning, we were absolutely very sure of what might happen today, and the continuation of that, what has happened in the Indian markets, then what happened in the European markets. The thought that it would transcend into the US session as well just turned out to be an absolute blunderous mistake. By far, this day was the uh, biggest winner in the morning and the biggest loser in the evening, and by far, uh, in the entire month of June, uh, it was the biggest losing day among the data set of June. I could have avoided some for sure, but the mental aspect of trading where you want to take yourself in the comfort, where you after losses want to get to the equilibrium state, was the mistake today. Let's look how amazing it was, and then how worst it became, and then how I even fueled it. This was DAX. I have been consistently performing in the DAX, and I wanted to increase the position size. I did increase the position size. This was the open. Uh, Took a trade in the open since we were around the swing lows. Added to the trade, booked some profits on the add-on, added it back on the retracement, and then booked on the strong close. Now I had this idea that we might see the highs, but this area 23,260 was yesterday's high, which was somewhere around 23,250 to 55, and I wanted to book my profits. I booked my profits, and then I waited for a pullback, uh, and after probing the range high, the overnight highs, we went uh, toward the lower end up again. I uh, bought around the area where I added. uh, Now it moved in my favor. Now I quickly moved my stop loss. uh, I would say, a bit emotional here as well in the decision making. I should not have. I initially had my stop below here, and then I moved my stop below this bar, and when it went in my favor, I moved it to break even very quickly, and I got stopped out for nothing, only to see the market move in my favor. I didn't want it to buy the close, so I waited for a retracement. We saw a retracement here. I bought here, added on a prior bar low. Now the target was again the highs. Uh, the market uh, tested this area, and then this bar was a big bar. Originally I was of this opinion as well that we might see higher prices, but the size of the bar itself was like a climatic bar, and I exited my positions. Now these were winning trades, all of them. This was a break-even trade. uh, this was with the bigger size add on and hair as well, and it was an absolutely beautiful morning. And uh, you feel invincible after such sessions, and then you want to increase the position size in the US as well. You think this is the time we've been performing consistently, let's increase the position size. And while it worked very well, it did not work in the Dow and the Nasdaq. uh, let's look at the Nasdaq. Nasdaq opened here. We uh, so continuation bull bars, a pose bar, dozy bar, and then I wanted to be a buyer. Now the close of the previous day was around 21,640ish or 20ish, somewhere around here, and this was a gap up situation. You would say the market is positive, Nifty was positive today, even DAX was very positive. Then maybe this would transcend into the Nasdaq and the Dow Jones as well. uh, I bought around this area on a prior bar low. I got stopped out for 60 points, and then I waited, and around this support area here I bought again only to get stopped out. Now I had lost on both of these positions. uh, 60 point here, 60, 65 or 70 point here, and you think and that you increase the position size, and maybe the idea of buying is not working. Why not flip the switch for a sell? You did not sell, I did not sell. I thought that we've reached the uh, closing price, and now we might see higher prices. And this was swayed by the idea. If we look at the Dow Jones as well, I bought similarly here as well, or prior bar low, got stopped out. uh, Bought it again when I saw the price holding up, but I quickly got myself stopped out, because if you'd see here, Nasdaq was much below, and I thought both the indices would follow and fall, because FTSE was falling and DAX was holding up later in the US. So I lost here, and then lost here. uh, and then on the continuation, where you'd see Nasdaq falling and Dow also now pulling, I shorted the Dow, added to my position, and then added again, only to get stopped out. Now you've had three losing trades here, two losing trades here, and then this was, if I had not shorted here, maybe I would have shorted somewhere around here, but I was stopped out, so I waited in the Dow, but I bought the Nasdaq. I bought here, closed the add-on here, but had my initial position still on a prior bar low. I added here. Now this prior bar low that formed here was formed in the Dow Jones as well here, and I bought the Dow Jones below this bar, and the same was done in the Nasdaq here. I got stopped out. Now the initial position was break even, and this add-on was a losing trade. This add-on made me some profit that got dissipated here as well. And then what happened in the Dow was I lost again. I lost on the long side, then I lost on the short, and I lost again in the long. And if we see here, I lost on the long sides, did not press here until we saw this. Then I thought maybe while I thought we'll recover back up, it is weak and we're gonna see new lows again. I shouted here. I would say it was a tight stop. I should have stopped around here and it would have worked very well. Now these were emotional decisions. Why would I not put it here? I should have. This was a 70 point stop, and similar should have been done here when we shouted. Maybe waited. I should have waited for a retracement to short and put a stop around there. I was keeping tight stops because I already lost, and I got stopped out here and in the Nasdaq as well. Overall, this was somewhat a break-even trade, lost on the long and the short side in the Nasdaq, lost in the short and the long side in the Dow. By the time I was done with the three trades in the Dow and these two trades in the Nasdaq, whatever I had made in the DAX was gone. It was taken back from me, and then I lost again here and here, somewhat here as well. We've from plus to negative. This by far was one of the worst day. Now uh, the situation could have been well very under control had I not planned to increase my stop position size. I increased my position size because I had been very consistent recently. I've had grown my account and I wanted to increase the position size. We made well in the DEX, did the uh, same in the Nasdaq and Dow, and we really lost it. Really, it was a very strange Friday, and from looking very strong to very weak, but still not in a hurry. I was bit overly aggressive. I should not have been that aggressive here. This was a strong close. If you would have sold here 260, 360, that's 100 points. If you've kept an 80 points stop, generally I keep uh, in the Dow 60 to 80 points stop, sometimes 100 as well. 60 generally works very well for me in both the Nasdaq and Dow, and I plan to make similar, and I even add to the position. in the decks as well. I generally keeps a 40 point stop index, always 40 point, and I add to my positions a lot. I add 44% times to my trades index, and generally they tend to work out very well. And uh, I aim for 60 to 80 points. Sometimes if the market gives me more, I take it and accept the gift. And adding to the positions twice or thrice, and then going for the points keep me well off in the DAX. But the Dow and the Nasdaq, just to raise